Maybe you haven't been into the dark night of the soul yet. Maybe you have. But I can tell you this. Don't go searching for it. It's coming for you. So, all these things that I mentioned, is it because I read books that I search for it? No. It was come knocking on my door instead. It was coming at my face, full throttle. Everything just falls apart for no reason. And everything just, I remember, the dark night of the soul isn't fun, but I say embrace it. When you attach a identity to something that was your identity, whether it's in a relationship, whether it's in a job that you thought it was meant for you, whether it's something that you put your whole life into it, or your full heart into it. You gave your heart away. And that thing that we thought was meant to last forever just crumbles, break apart, piece by piece, and broke. At first we thought maybe it's just a phase. Maybe it won't hurt. Maybe we deny our pain. But the dark night of the soul, we all experience it. Maybe someone who hasn't experienced the dark night of the soul yet don't know what I mean. But the dark night of the soul, for me, the dark night of the soul, bring me closer to who I truly am. And the dark night of the soul is trying to bring you closer to who you really are. In this world that we live in, the finite material world that we live in, the 3D world, we get consumed by the news, by people surrounding us, by the thing that we see each and every day. And that is the object that surrounds us each and every day. We see it. And then sometimes most people in the spiritual world separate themselves as, most people who believe that God is separate of them, that this universe is separate of them. But as a whole, we are all connected at a deeper level, in a deeper meaning. So most people believe, so the video that I did yesterday, it was to make you aware that there are other things. But I believe that everything at a core level exists, right? The quantum world exists, our energy exists, but it's what we do with that energy that counts. It's how we utilize our energy for good or for evil. I talked to the lady while I was doing some paperwork, and she said that, I was talking about witchcraft and stuff like that. She says energy can neither be good or bad. It just is. Everything just is. And for those who don't understand and who don't have watched my previous video on the dark night of the soul, I've experienced the dark night of the soul. I experienced a lot of things that seem unbearable to some people. The dark night of the soul is where you find your ideas not fitting in how you see things in the world. Right? The dark night of the soul reveal the other world, the spiritual world, the essence of who we are. During the dark night of the soul, I question a lot of things. I was in pain, right? Of course, I always allude to this, my ex, right? I always talk about it because one time she was part of my life. And I always mention that because she was part of my identity. a relationship that I put forth my heart in. But it shattered. It shattered because it was a reality that we created a story in our head that it was going to be there forever, for the rest of our life, that we choose to be that with this person. They enter your life and you never thought that you ever felt the amazing experience that you had, but then it broke into millions of pieces and you wonder, days go by and you wonder why did it happen? And so you start to close off to the world. And you tell yourself that no one's going to love you, that you can't find someone better than them. Because that's all you know. You put your time and energy and effort to that relationship, to that job that you had. So we are bounded by the limitation with our mind. And when the dark night comes in, and it comes very strongly and at a full throttle, it shook you up and wake you up, you go, whoom, and to tell you to wake up, because the reality is that as a whole, the law of attraction, coincidence, all the spiritual teaching in the world teaches us to empower us that we in ourselves create our own reality. Whether it's from the law of attraction, from synchronicity, from spiritual teachings, from the Bible, from all the ancient wisdom of the world teaches us that we in ourselves created the reality by our inner world that we have reflected inside out. As we turn toward inward, we see, for me, when I was in the dark night of the soul, I didn't like it. It was dark. I denied of who I truly was. And most of the stuff that I denied, the thing that I wanted to do, I denied because of the reality that people lived in. The reality is that life was meant to be more. When as you embrace the dark night of the soul, you get to feel every emotion into it. You feel angry, you feel hurt. It's okay. Most people try to say anger is not good, but when you're in the dark night of the soul, you felt it. All the negative emotion, all the sadness, all the pain coming rushing through. Now remember, all the anger that I had, all the emotion that I had, all the sadness, all the guilt, all the tears was running down my face, and I could not believe that it happened, but it did. So I have to embrace it. But for a while, for about 2 years, all I see was pain. All I see was darkness. And it was like a cloud, a foggy cloud that I went through. And it was so thick that I could not see. I couldn't see. I couldn't see people. I really didn't. I couldn't see. All I saw was myself. And all I saw was my thought running of how could it happen to me? Why did it happen to me? Why did I have to go through this darkness that I had to go through? Why was it so painful? No, most of the time I didn't want to live. The pain that I bear wasn't, I couldn't see another way to live a life. And it shattered the notion that we as a whole, as a society, is so broken. The dark night of the soul show you something meaningful. And that is, the dark night of the soul is bringing you closer to who you are and to understand you. Because as a whole, every spiritual teaching, every law of attraction books or coincidence, it teaches you to empower you, to bring closer to home. And that home is understanding that you ultimately are a miniature universe, that you can create anything that we wanted, but most people tell you you can't. But you've been creating the stuff that you have all your life. You're creating, you're letting things in and you're letting things out. As you pull, you you repel. As you attract, you repel. Everything fall to the side. I remember how heavy my heart felt, how heavy life, how heavy the chip on my shoulder felt. It was so heavy. And all I hear was anger. I mean, all I felt was anger and emotion. The anger was, why did it happen to me? And no, I haven't been clear about that, but it's because it's not because I don't want to go too deep into it. It is I don't want to relive the past. But the dark night of the soul is there to shatter the notion that you have about life. It's a mirror of, it's a reflection of your true self, where you're trying to reach. And as you destroy that myth, and soon you'll find that you should not escape this darkness. You should embrace it. It is not there to fix. I believe that most dark night of the soul, most people should not. Uh, uh, you, the dark night of the soul is there for you to experience, to embrace it, to feel it with all the emotions. One day you'll finally, like years later, you will finally understand why you went through it. Understand why I went through it. For me, so I can grow, uh, so I can come closer of who truly I understand about who I am as a person, as a spiritual person, as understanding that every teaching that we know, and that's why to this day, the reason why the dark night of the soul bring me closer, because that's why it was an experience that I had from the dark night of the soul to understanding the self-fulfilling prophecy, to coincidence, to the law of attraction, to understanding that as a universe, there is something more to life. And then as I go searching for the answer, I find that with every teaching, it teaches us to empower us to believe in ourselves, that because most people don't believe in themselves. But also it teaches you to renew your mind. It teaches you to let your self, your old self, the old image, the person who you were, die. So you can be reborn as the person who understand themselves, who understood about life, who understood and have grasp of understanding how that we can harness the pain, and it give us the gift of understanding. It give us the gift to inspire others. It give the gift because when you go through the dark night of the soul, you have confusion, you have pain, and as you go through the stages, that you felt what you felt as if you're a failure. That maybe you feel all the things that was troubling you. I start to find answers through books because I felt experience the dark night of the soul, all the spiritual stuff, and the coincidence and weird stuff happening into the universe. Now, the video that I made yesterday, it was for people who were in the law of attraction and they're searching for an answer. I believe that the law of attraction is truly not enough. You have to be able to study other aspects of life, just as important, right? The universe, I believe every subject that is important. The law of attraction, spirituality, um, Bible, spiritual teachings, occult, um, skill set, relationships, skill set, selling, marketing, is because when we take the time to understand ourselves, we understand others. Because we're dealing with us and we're dealing with other people. And as we deal with that, we come close to understanding to our true purpose in life and to find that there's That's why there are sometimes people who go through the dark night of the soul, they don't know that they're going through it. But out of that dark night of the soul, something changes them. And as they change, changes, and their outlook on life changes as well. And they start to attract new, different experiences that they never had before because they themselves change. You see, the dark night of the soul is ripping you apart. That sounds wrong. And what it's doing is that it changes you in a way that it will give you new meaning in life. Now, today, there's a book of Dark Night of the Soul. Right? I read it. It was pretty good, and it's a guide to finding your way through life ordeal. Right? So I'm going to read you some of it. Some of it. To embrace it. At time or another, most people go through a period of sadness, trial, loss, frustration, or failure that is disturbing, long-lasting, that can be called a dark night of the soul. If your main interest in life is health, you may quickly try to overcome the darkness. If you're looking for meaning, character, and personal substance, you may discover that dark night has many important gift for you. You probably know more about the depths of your soul from periods of pain and confusion than from time of comfort. Darkness and turmoil stimulate the imagination in a certain way. They allow you to see things you might ordinarily overlook. Yeah, that's true. When I was in the dark night of the soul, I was it gave me the ability to see things that I didn't see before, and I overlooked a lot of things that it showed me that everything in life, right, is an illusion. Meaning, most people say, "What? What do you mean life is an illusion?" It truly is. Everything around us is nothing but based upon ideas, right? Think about it. Why people do the thing that they do. Why people drive the car that they drive. Why people act the way they act. Because of the idea that they have into their mind. And as we shatter these ideas, because these ideas are reflection of the outer world, as we internalize it into the subconscious, it express it through, and so express it out into the outer world of life, as within, so without, at the emerald tablet. As we this, renew our inner world, so we create in our outer world. And then think of a dark night as a part of our organic living. To avoid it, it would be like choosing any artificial food that never spoils. As a natural person, you want to feel a wide range of emotion and go through many different kinds of experiences. Over the course of your lifetime, parts of you will grow and blossom, some will rot. To be sad, grieving, and struggling, loss, or hopeless is part of natural human life. That's true. But riding the wave of your dark night of soul are more yourself, moving toward who you meant to be. Yes, that's what I said. It's bringing you closer to who you are. You're right now, when you're in the dark night of the soul, you're a caterpillar, and when you go out of it, you become a butterfly. Because butterfly means change. When you're in, well, actually, you're in a cocoon, and you're changing. You're trying to change, but the circumstances, the ideas, the beliefs, the people you surround yourself with, no longer to fit who you're going to be. Those people fall aside because they don't understand what you're going through. And so you don't understand what you're going through too. But as you get out of the dark night of the soul, you have a clear understanding about yourself, about your closeness and oneness with the universe, and the connection that you have with people. Because it's a deeper, profound meaning to life. For a feeling of well-being, you can have to shine, but your spark needs to be not superficial. It can rise up out of a deep place in you that is dark, but it's also kind of light. When you feel an urge to take a major turn in your life, that's your divine mind waking you up. When you find an unexpected strength in your voice or in your work, that is the divine mind empowering you. When you want to go in one direction, something you push it strongly in the different direction, that's other voice, the divine mind. It's an ancient idea, but it also lies at the heart of the work of the Greek mystic Herodotus, C.G. Or Carl Jung, W.B. Yeats, Royal May, and James Hillman. You live with your diamond when you take your innermost passion into account. Even when they go against your habits and standards, you need to um, dialogue so that you can work out a livable connection with this challenging but ultimately creative power. In the best case, over time you get to know your deep passion. You come to recognize the voice that speaks deep in your imagination. You speak out the devils from the angels, the voice of fear from the voice of hope. You may get to the point where you feel in harmony with yourself because you are in dialogue with these other presence. And so, we come navigating a dark night. We have considered many kinds of dark nights and many ways to deal with them. Now it's time to put it all together and find a way through that murky feelings and foggy thoughts. We have taught about a slender shift light as offering a way through the darkness, and we now consider other kind of not Illuminati, luminous. But John of the Cross, our model and primary teacher, said that it is the darkness that offers the best way, not the light. But darkness itself. I want to restate this principle because it's the one misunderstood and it's the key to this entire exploration of dark night of the soul. Today, of course, there are hundreds of ways to offer to deal with dark night, so I'm not going to say it's too much. But when you look closely at all these contemporary approaches, you see the hero shadow in the background. Superman in disguise and mild mannered Clark Kent. You may still believe that a dark night, though possibly beneficial in the end, it's basically an anomaly, something that shouldn't be in version to deal with. Many people claim to have integrated the shadow side, but the effect is itself a work against the dark. To integrate is to co-opt into light. The real task is to live in and with the darkness, appreciating only revealing value and loving its reversible quality. What is needed is view of life that included the you surrender to life, not to pain. Still, you struggle to survive. Trying to see something. In other words, the dark night of the soul can heal, where healing means being more alive and more present to the world around. It heals by opening you up, sometimes to the point where you might be feel dismembered. It opens the doorway between you and the world that therefore been closed. It instates the flow of life through you. For a human being at the best, remember, are porous. An artist to open inspiration, a mystic open to mystery, a physician open to the healing power within her, a parent open to the dramas of transformation that constitutes your family. This initiatory process more difficult and sometimes more painful than treating your dark night. The problem needing as a solution. It's never easy to accept more life. Never easy to become more of who you are. It's challenging in the extreme to really live instead of taking in portions that are comfortable or convenient for you. Only it may feel peripheral through this preference is rarely conscious to be depressed and allow life to flow. There's one reason why the dark night is so contagious and take forever to vanish. So some level you prefer the one. So yeah, the dark night of the soul is there to shatter all the belief ideas about who you are as a person, right? It reveal who you are as a person. It reveal because we as a human wear a mask and we mask our true identity of who we truly are. And that is where much more than life have to offer. Now, of course, I can get all the details of the dark night of the soul, but it's just a video to explain that if you're in the dark night of the soul, embrace it. Don't come looking for it, it's coming for you. Because I just thought about it, felt like I didn't ask for the dark night of the soul, it just comes to me. So, the dark night of the soul, I believe, is a gift. Why? This is a gift. It makes you aware and it make you aware of who you truly are, and that is your self connection with the universe. And I think that too many people are separate from themselves, even in the spiritual world where people separate God and themselves. But as a whole, God is them, and they are God, and like the universe is part of them, but they separate themselves. That's why I like quantum physics, because everything is connected, while physics is disconnected, right? That's how I see it. Like, I'm actually grateful for the dark night of the soul, but I do not like it one bit. God, I hate that feeling. But that's the best year you will find, because that's where you develop your awareness, your power, your power. And it going through the dark night of the soul, it makes me aware of my inner intuition. It makes me aware about my inner world. It made me aware about things that we have inside of us that we can uh, change. As we change, so our world. Got it? I'll see you next time. Subscribe to my channel, like my video, and I'll see you. Bye bye!